Hey you, watching this video, spread love.
Hey familia, today's video is sponsored by YouTube Memberships. YouTube Memberships allows you to partner up with your favorite YouTubers and gain access to all kinds of perks. To become a member, click the join button below. Bienvenidos and welcome back to another Taco Bout It Tuesday. I am Leonardo Torres.
I'm Erika Ayala.
And together we are Leonardo and Mustachio still in the house. Welcome, Mustachio. You are loved. Not by everyone, but you are loved. I wonder if David Wellman can see Mustachio. Can you see Mustachio? Is he there now for you? Does he exist?
Does he exist?
Does he exist in your world?
He's here.
We want to give a quick shout out to a few people.
Mama Bear.
Mama Bear in the house.
Hey, Jackie.
Angela.
David
Wellman.
Katie Donovan.
Katie Donovan. How are you loving that new Boiling Point album? Is it awesome for you? Do you enjoy it? We have another Care Bear in the house.
Hello.
Hi Care Bear. We wonder, is your name Carrie? Let us know. Today's topic is an interesting one because we wanted to come on here and talk to you about hurt and why we hurt, or what to do with my hurt. As we all know, everyone is going through some kind of pain, psychological, some physical, but today we're talking about psychological pain, emotional pain, and what it is what it is specifically, how it arises, and maybe what we're to do with it. And we want to hear from you. So this is a conversation, we want it back and forth. We're going to ask you questions. We're going to hear from you and see how you suffer mentally or emotionally, and what you do to recover from that, or what you do to help yourself when you're feeling that way, in hopes that somebody who's listening who has also been hurt either by the church, by family members, friends, society, or even by yourself, can gain insight into what the nature of this thing is that we call hurt, and hopefully overcome it and hopefully get over it. Now, we're not in any way saying that this is a way that you can overcome it yourself and that Christ is not needed. That's not what not what we're saying. Of course, Christ came and saved us from all of that, but there's still some work to be done. There's still something for us to do to help ourselves and live a better life in Christ. And so that's exactly what we're doing today. We're talking about hurt and why we do that. And so to get us started, we just want to give a quick thank you to our YouTube members for supporting this channel. Thanks to you, we're able to bring you more content like this one. So if you are interested in partnering up with us and becoming a sponsor of the show, you can do so by clicking on the join button down below. Join us or something like that. I think it says join down below, or joining us on Patreon. And we'd like to thank our Patreon partners for the love and support as well. So thank you. Without you all, we would not be able to do these videos. So thank you so much. We've all heard the phrase hurt people, right?
Yep.
What does that mean? What does that mean to you, that hurt people? How is that?
Well,
how's that evident?
Well, I feel like it's so it starts off with like a chain. So, I don't think that somebody just goes out and just automatically says, I want to hurt that person. Or genuinely, I really don't feel that. I feel that they've been hurt down the line and they don't know what to do with that hurt. And the easiest thing for them to do is to just hurt the next person. And then it just brings a cycle of hurt from people. And you just, it's just kind of how it begins.
Right. The thing that I think about when I think of that is the story of my mother. Like, my mother was physically abused by my father, who was a drunkard. He would get home, abuse her, you name it, psychologically, mentally, she was abused. And when she escaped my father, she escaped him personally, and came to America and brought me here with her. But she didn't escape her psychological suffering. So she still had him beating her down, right? And unfortunately, I was a reminder of that pain, a physical reminder. So every time she saw me, she was reminded of how my father made her feel weak. And as a result, she needed to regain her power or strength by hitting me. So and it's not like she would just randomly hit me for no reason, right? But almost anything would just trigger her, Some of the things that I did, I admit I deserved, to be scolded or disciplined. I don't know that I deserved that kind of discipline, but I did deserve some kind of discipline. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I was a perfect kid, right? But she was hurt, and so she hurt me as a result, right? Familia, can you all think of something that happened to you all where someone who you trusted and loved hurt you because they themselves were hurt? And as you answer, I just want to do a quick shout out to Katie, who's in 212 degrees. Is it 212? Nah, it's not. It's impossible. You would not be here right now.
I was like, whoa.
When we started, somebody said here that they knew. Oh, here we go. Ivan Raymond. Thank you so much for
welcome.
subscribing. Welcome to La Familia. Welcome. I hope everyone's making you feel welcome.
Maristela?
Maristela says, "Hi, this is the first time I've seen and joined a live feed." Well, welcome to the live feed, and welcome to the live chat. Please feel free to converse with us. Okay, this is a conversation. We're talking about hurt, and we want to get to the bottom of how it arises, what to do with it when it arises, and if there's a way that we can live without it, without being hurt. No one deserves a beating. That's true. That is absolutely true. And as you may know, I raised my girls differently. I've never ever taken a belt or a chancla to flesh. It's a little harder because they do push the limits, as every child does. But I had common sense. If I didn't like it, I know that my children wouldn't like it. So I wasn't going to pass that down to my child. We give what we receive. We learn what is normal by how we are treated. That's right. So that's important. That's important. We learn what is normal by how we are treated. So sometimes some people make excuses for the people that hurt us, right? Yep. Oh, it's okay. He just had a hard time. He just had a hard day. So it's okay. He bruised me. That's fine. It's just, or I shouldn't have said this thing to him. I was really rude. And I'm the one that set him off, and that's why he hit me. Or, we make excuses for our aggressors, and that's not okay. So we learn that it's normal to be treated that way. Yeah. And to a certain degree, I'm really glad that my mom left my dad, to be honest, because I think if I would have seen it, to a certain degree, I would have taken that as normal, because he learned it from his dad. He saw his dad beat his mom, and he promised himself that he wouldn't ever do that. And he did not keep his promise to himself. And that's, I think, really sad because he lost a son.
It's unfortunate.
He lost a son, and I think he's trying to make amends now. Yeah. I'm not saying it's too late. I'm not trying to be prideful, but there's a lot to make up here. Like, I forgive him for everything he did to my mom and what he did to me, but it's I don't have to live with him. I don't have to have that kind of relationship with him. I can still love him and respect him at a distance. At a distance. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Jesus being peace upon you and your family. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Oh, Steve, I haven't seen you in a good while. Thank you. Welcome. Glad to see you again. Linda Garcia, hurt people hurt people. Yeah. That's exactly what we're talking about. Hurt is an attack from the enemy. That can be true as well. I was hurt. I hurt my kids emotionally. That's the way that it sometimes goes, right? My father was abusive too. I'm sorry, Kita. I'm not sure I can pinpoint a hurt person lashed out at me, but I was an utter jerk to a lot of people after my brother died. Okay. So you suffered a loss and you were hurt, and as a result, you were an utter jerk to other people because of the pain that you lived. Does that narrow it down? 562 girl says, "Hey, hi guys, Taco Bout." Yeah, Taco Bout it. Yes. 562 girl, are you Renee? That sounds familiar. Let us know. Let us know if that's
like Renee.
Renee. Oh, Supermax Renee. Yeah. If you are, hi, welcome. If you're not, hi, welcome. I would have missed it if I didn't randomly open YouTube. Oh, Jaylina, welcome.
Well, thank you.
Glad you randomly opened YouTube, right? So we're right. Excellent. See? Yeah. It's right up here. I agree. Distance is good, right? So the last time we spoke, we said somebody had asked us, what's the best way to handle when somebody's like hurting us? And I think the best way is to, first of all, create distance between you and the thing that's causing you harm. That's important. So do not stay in a place that's harmful to you physically or even mentally or emotionally, because those things can be that much worse. It can take a physical toll on you to suffer mentally. We see that with people who suffer from migraines, who suffer even from brain cancer because they're overthinking things, or if they're hurt emotionally, we get cancer like pancreatic cancer, all these things that are connected to our emotional well-being. And if you're not in a good place emotionally, you are setting yourself up potentially for also physical suffering. It happens. In fact, there have been people who have emailed us with some stories, and there was one particular story, and I'm not going to say the name of the person, but they had not been speaking to their son or their children in so long. They had a big fallout, and this person had never met their grandchildren, and they went on and listed off a bunch of things that they suffered physically. Like they had to go to the doctors to get operated for this and that and the other, and it was a long list of physical ailments that, in my opinion, and I'm not a professional, I'm not a doctor, so please, take this lightly, but from things that I've read, I have a book called the Anatomy of the Spirit, and it talks about how closely related the physical ailments are to our emotional and our mental illnesses. So putting some distance between you and the person that's hurting you is important. Now, what do we do with the thoughts and the memories of these painful moments, these painful events, right? Before we get into that, I just want to ask you all a question. What are the symptoms of being hurt? How do you know when someone is hurt? What are some of the things that they show that tells you this person is someone who is hurt, or things that you see in yourself? What are some symptoms?
Well, things that I've seen of symptoms of people being hurt is either they lash out with anger, self-sabotage, whether that means they look towards a substance or something because they're trying to hide they're hurt. So you see that. Those are like the two big ones that I've noticed in the people that have hurt me, and even myself, hurting myself. That's what I show. The self-sabotage is like a big one.
Self-sabotage is a big one.
It's a huge one.
Isolation is a good one too. Negativity, yes. I withdraw and stop talking. That's a big one too, and that's actually a really good one. That I would put in the good, on the good side of symptoms, because it's better to sort of withdraw and stop talking than to say something out of that hurt, right, and hurt another person, and to continue that chain, right? So sort of stepping back and not talking is a good one. Talking bad about others, so gossiping, right? Yep. Good. It's a good one. I run away fast and far. That's common as well. We have people who run away from their situations. That's a good symptom. Not a good symptom, but that's another symptom. Which leads us to this next question, which is, what are some ways that we escape pain? And we're talking about psychological pain. We're not talking about physical pain. What are some of the things that we do that we're hurt, right? So like, I'm hurt, something happened to me. What are some ways that I might escape or want to escape that pain? Because I'm not really escaping it, but what are some things that I might do to escape it? You mentioned a few.
Well, I had to do a lot with the self-sabotage, alcohol abuse, drug abuse.
Yeah, drug abuse, so addictions, right? Like
any
Jackie
sort
says.
of addictions.
Yeah, addictions. Distraction. What sort of distractions?
There could be a lot of distractions.
Because there's some good things that don't have to be alcohol or drug abuse. There's some things that we use to escape that could be healthy, right?
Yeah, you could journal. Is that a distraction?
That could be a distraction, but that's a really healthy distraction.
Okay,
right?
so
we're talking about simple things like maybe watching TV.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Stuff like that. Like
watching TV.
Okay, like the more.
Or wanting to watch sports to sort of, or leave the house. Like, for example, I'm having issues with my partner, so I leave my house to go to some bar and watch a game because I don't want to hear her nagging. Right? She doesn't nag, but I don't want to hear her nagging. So I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go and like, there's nothing wrong. I'm just going out, hanging out with the fellas, with the boys, and we're having some beers and we're watching sports. Like there's nothing wrong with that, right?
So it would be like
Retail therapy.
get lost in Netflix. I'm being serious.
Yeah,
I've done that.
getting
and
lost,
isolated myself.
right? Or going down the YouTube, rabbit hole, or TikTok for some people, right? Or Instagram. Like we're just constantly scrolling, shopping.
I've had some shopping therapy before too.
Yeah,
To distract
shopping
me.
therapy, impulsive buying. That's right. Like, hey, you know what will make me feel better? A new camera. I already have 7 cameras, but a new one is gonna make me really happy because I don't have this one. Right?
Or a whole tub of chocolate ice cream works too.
Hey, I feel personally attacked.
No, I'm serious though. A whole tub of ice cream.
Yeah, a whole tub of ice cream is
and
one.
Just not being judged by anybody. Yeah, just
Perfectionism is an escape. Is not positive. A lot of escapes are negative. Yes, a lot of them are negative.
Yeah.
In fact, any form of escape is not good.
Well, no,
It's not good. We're not really escaping it. We're temporarily shifting. We're moving. We're finding little pockets where we're okay, but the problem is still there. Our hurt is still there. As much as my mom wanted to leave the country and get as far as she possibly could from my dad, she was still suffering. In fact, she ended up with another abusive person. So it shows that she needed she needed some kind of comfort and some kind of security, and she never had it until thankfully until this channel made it possible for us to be able to get rid of my stepdad and for her to find some peace. And even still, she's not 100% at peace, right? So by the way, the time is there, 8:15 a.m. Here is, today for us is 3:15 p.m. on Tuesday. And I want to apologize, Roxana. I know that you're going to sleep. I'm really sorry. We want to do this a little earlier, but it's also, we can't do it too late. So we're trying to find a good right time. Okay. I promise we'll find the right time to get all these done in a good time. So we're talking about escape, right? We find ways to escape. So now we have to ask this question, and this is a very serious question, familia, that we want you to ask yourself and not just say no. I don't want you to just say no. I really want to have this conversation with you. That question is it possible to not be hurt? Is it possible? Is it possible that someone can say something offensive and to not let it hurt? Is it possible that someone can say something offensive and something harsh to me and that I not allow that to hurt me? Is it possible? Who thinks it is possible and who thinks it's not possible? It's okay if you think it's not, and it's okay if you think it is. We just want to see where everyone is, and we want to maybe look into it deeper and see if it is possible, and if it is possible, how we can go about that. How can we live together in peace, in love, in kindness, without that hurt happening on any level. On any level. I'm not talking about physical level, because obviously we're going to have the Great Spirit protect you all, but accidents, we're gonna fall, we're gonna trip, we're gonna bump into that coffee table without our shoe on, right on that tiny little pinky toe, and it's gonna hurt, right? So we're not talking about those types of hurt. They're inevitable. We cannot avoid them. But is it possible to live without hurt, without being hurt? And here's some of your answers. Kita says, yes, it is. Yes, it is possible for me. Angela says, yes, it is, with God's help. So good, it is. Leonardo Torres, I said I am going to sleep. I'm still here.
Thank you for always still being here.
Thank you, Roxana. Mama Bear says, yes, it is. For some, absolutely. For others, 50%. Great. So we're going to go look into it. It's possible, but that's not my reality yet. I'm highly sensitive. I don't get angry much, but sad, yes. Okay, we're going to look into that, Kita. We're going to dive deep into this with all of your permission. We're going to go deep into this. And this is not to replace your faith or your religious beliefs. Okay, this is not a replacement. This is just an add-on. This is something that we're going to observe. Sorry, not absorb, observe. That's the right one. We're going to observe about ourselves and see whether or not we can get to the point where we can be free from suffering and free from hurt, and not allow it to register, so that we can live in peace together, and that our relationship with the Great Spirit can continue to be something very, very strong. So Kugi, thank you for your honesty. Says, I'm not sure. Okay, that's good. Not sure. Not sure if you can. In time, you can with God's help. Thank you, Jackie, for your answer. Beware of warning signs. Create boundaries to protect yourself. That's a good. That's a good thing. Yes. So these are all great. Care Bear, that is great. So then that is going to bring us to this question, and I want you to think about it very carefully. Okay, what is it that gets hurt? What is it that gets hurt? When someone says something mean to me, what is it in here that is hurt? What is it? When my mother used to look at me and say, "You look just like your father," and proceeded to take her anger out on me, something in me was hurt other than the physical, right? Something in me was hurt. But what is it? What is that thing that gets hurt?
That's what I have told him. The self-esteem.
Your self-esteem is what gets hurt. Your self-esteem, right? Sense of identity. Exactly. Okay, great answer. What else? The image I have of myself. Liza, thank you.
On point.
Excellent. On point. What else, familia?
These are great answers, by the way. They're all, there's no wrong or right. These are
spot on, though.
Yeah, they really
right?
are.
So my self-esteem gets hurt, right? My sense of identity is what hurts. The image that I have of myself is what gets hurt, right? So this image, right? Past echoes, your image, right? So can we all agree that we have created an image for ourselves? Every single one of us has created an image of ourselves. And who has created that image? Where do we get that image? Who tells us, right? In this case, my mother had an image of herself as being strong, and here comes my father, beats her down and makes her feel weak. And here she has this image of herself being strong, but it's fighting another image of her being weak. And she's not exactly sure which one she is or who she is, right? And so every time she sees me, this innocent little child, she sees my father, is reminded of her weak image, and she tries to assert her power, assert her this other image, the good image she has of herself. And so she hurts. She hurt me, right? But by the way, I'm not hurt now, and I'm way over that.
Doesn't hurt people
at a very early age. I was way over that, and I'm just going to share a little bit of what I did to be on top of that, so that hurt, to minimize. I'm not going to say that I'm never hurt, because I am, but to minimize the hurt that comes my way, right? Life had taken a toll on my health. Sister Caroline, we hope that you're doing well.
Yeah.
We need to follow up with you. Please, please let us know. Liza says, wow, Leo, unpacking image. Yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to unpack this thing that we do as human beings, right? That gets us in trouble. It hurts us, and as a result, we hurt other people. As Erika said, we sometimes lash out with anger on people. And so we don't want to say, hey, I feel horrible because I'm hurt. We say, no, I'm going to put on this mask of anger, and I'm going to project that onto the world. And because if I don't, then I'll be more likely to be hurt again. Yeah. Roxana says, that's why it's so important to know who we are, who we really are. Emphasis on the who we really are. And we're going to get to the bottom of that shortly. Okay. So how does this image work, familia? As Roxana said, who we really are. I explained this to Erika. I'm going to do but I drew pictures on the whiteboard, and I'm going to try my best to do it without painting the pictures on the whiteboard. There's a me. Imagine my mother and my father. They fell in love. And as a result of that love, whatever you want to call it, I came about. Before my mother knew that she was pregnant with me, before she knew of me, I was there. Okay. We're going to have I don't want to have like a sex ed class here, but we all know how that happens, right? Seed enters the egg is there. I begin to form, but my mother doesn't know that I'm there yet. I'm not there. In other words, I don't have a name, nationality, religion, nothing attached to me. It's just me. I'm not even Leonardo. I'm just this new creature, right? Then the moment that my mother starts showing signs of nausea and she starts throwing up, she's like, maybe there's this creature in me growing. So she goes to the doctor, and the doctor confirms. Now, for the very first time, my mother is aware of me, that I'm there. She's conscious of me. And then begins my identity. What should we name him? My dad says, Leonardo was the name of my uncle, and I looked up to him, and he was this big man, this strong man, very stoic, very wise, very this and all that other stuff. And he said he was really strong. He was like this really strong man. He looked up to him. He says, I want to name him after my uncle. So Leonardo, okay, middle name. Should we give him a middle name? I was going to be named Leonardo Fabio. Thank goodness I was not named Leonardo Fabio. I don't like that name.
I still would have loved you, Fabio. I probably would have called you Fabio.
Hi, I'm Fabio.
Probably.
You know, but my name was now given to me. Then I was born in Mexico, so now my nationality is given to me. Then I'm a son, right? And now I'm a cousin and a nephew and a grandson, and I'm all these things start to be added to myself, to who I am. Then if I would have been raised by my father, he would have painted the picture of my uncle, and I would have probably strived to become more like my uncle. So there's this act of becoming something. And now I hold this image of my uncle, and I am to be that. I pursue to become that. And if I am as skinny as I was when I was a kid, I might feel depressed by that, because in fact, the first thing that my father, my real father, told me when I met him for the first time, he says, I named you Leonardo like my uncle, who was this really strong man, and look at you, you're not to put skin and bones. And I'm like, well, my uncle wasn't my father, was he? You were my dad, and you were skinny like me when you were a kid. So obviously, I'm gonna take up after you. So then we moved to America, and now I'm this Mexican kid in a bad neighborhood called Compton, and I'm starting to get all these concepts of what it is to have like black friends, and I start building this image, and my mom tells me who I am, and my teacher tells me who I am, and my pastor, my priest tells me who I am, and I start developing this self-image. And if that self-image says I'm a great person, and someone comes along and says, you're a crappy person, they're offending that image of me. And that image becomes offended, and now I must step up to defend it. I must step up to defend it, because that image is hurt. Because they're telling me, like my mom was presented this image that she was weak, and she had an image that she was strong. When this image of weakness is brought up, there's conflict. There's internal conflict between images, the images that I'm making. And so now that image becomes hurt. So can you think of something, Familia, can you share with me something about your image that is continuously getting hurt? For me personally is that I'm not a real Christian as of lately. That's an image that I have of myself, that I'm not really close to God, right? That's the thing that led me to become an atheist to begin with, because I had this really close relationship with God, and my uncle came along and painted another image that God wasn't with me, and now I was it was conflicted. I went to the pastor, the priest. The priest could not clarify that image for me. All I asked was, can you make this image clear for me? Am I a child of God, or am I not a child of God? And then I was thrown into confusion, then anger, because I was hurt by the church, and then I became an atheist, right? So this idea that I'm not close to God is what continuously hurts me. What's something about your image?
The big one that I struggle is not feeling enough.
Not feeling enough.
Not feeling that I'm enough. What I have to offer isn't enough. I'm not. The importance. I'm not important. I don't know how to put that into another word other than I guess not feeling worthy. But that falls.
Worthy. Okay.
So, and that's something that I've struggled with.
So when someone says something that makes you feel unworthy, you feel hurt because you have an image of yourself that says I'm worthy. Yeah,
and then it just kind of makes me second guess myself all the time and just question and go into a dark place that I really don't like to go to. But because of my past, from what has been done to me, it just seems to just creep up when somebody points out something that I didn't do right, or even when someone's just trying to give me helpful criticism. I don't know how to sometimes take that, because I take that, all I hear is, you didn't do it right. See what I told you? You're not worth, you're not worthy.
You're dumb,
you're not enough. See, you didn't do enough. You're dumb. You're stupid. You're not liked. And all those things creep up because of what was done to me from my past.
Okay. So you're bringing the past into the present. It's creating a hurt. And it's and then you act from that. That becomes your center of which all action comes from, right? Carrie Mama Bear says that I'm in need, that I'm needed or of use. So she has this image, Mama Bear has this image that she is needed by people, and the moment that something contradicts that image, she's hurt, right? Brenda D says that I'm a bad parent because of the choices my children have made. So she has this image of that she's a good parent, but the moment that sometimes the choices that kids are making makes her question whether or not she's a good parent, and then so therefore she's hurt. My dad said I was going to amount to nothing, and I still have trouble with not being enough, right? Like this is something also, Kita, that I struggle with myself, because every time that I said I wanted to do something, my mom either said that I didn't have the patience for that job, or that job was too dangerous, and so I questioned myself, knowing well that if I put my mind to something, I could absolutely do anything that I wanted to do, because because if I can toot my own horn, I'm great with patterns, and I know that if I can figure something out, I can escape it, or or if I can figure something out, I can do it, and I can do a really good job at it. But of course, some of my family's voices echo inside me and says, "You're not enough." And sometimes when I fail, my inner image goes, "You see? That right there, that failure is proof that you're not enough, that you're not good enough, or that you're not going to do that thing."
Have that happen.
And that's, again, we have to be aware of where those voices are coming from. Is it really who I am, or is it something that someone else has given to me? Is it an image that I'm holding that someone else has given to me? And we're going to go a little deeper into that. So being rejected, so no home, not having a home. That's right. So acceptance, right? I feel exactly like Erica, literally. Yes. So as you can see, familia, based on the answers that we're giving, my ex is my identity. That's a big one there too. So as you can see, familia, we all share a common hurt. Your hurt is not individual. It's not, I mean, it is individual in terms of the fact that you are experiencing yourself, right? So I wasn't there with you, but as you could see, we all share the same type of suffering. We're all hurting the same way, but the context of which that pain came about is different, but the pain is the same. You know, food is another. David Woman says food is another way to escape pain. So yes, food is another way. That I'll never be loved, and these things are far from the truth. We have to know that these come from this image that we created for ourselves. Now, I'm gonna ask a question that I didn't make a slide for, but I wanna ask you something. This may be challenging for some of you, but I hope that you take a moment to really look at this. Can you identify the image? Can you see the image? And if you can see the image, is that image you? Is that clear?
I get it.
Is that clear? If I've made an image of myself and I say, I've invested a lot in this image, I've invested a lot of emotion to this image, I've participated in creating this image because I want people to see me this way. I don't, but I've created this image, and I have this reputation or this image to uphold. But am I that image? It feels like I am because I've invested in it emotionally and in thought. I've invested so much in it. But if we're aware, familia, right now, we all admit it, that what gets hurt is this image of ourselves that we've created, that we've made for ourselves. So who is I? Who am I that created this image? And am I this image, or am I something else?
Some deep stuff.
This is some deep stuff.
But it's some like needed stuff.
Again, this is not to replace your faith, not to replace your theology. This is an add-on. This is a side note of something that we do as human beings. Okay, nothing to do with your salvation, nothing to do with any of that. And we're not saying you could save yourself or anything like that. This is just, we just want to look at that. I as a kid, as a 6-year-old, as I'm sitting there crying because my mother is yelling at me because she took belt to flesh, because she was so angry at my father and projected that anger onto me. I'm sitting there as a 6-year-old asking myself, have you ever asked yourself this, familia, when someone hurt you? Why? Why are you doing this to me? What have I done to you? And I turned my attention from, because I could have easily said, well, I'm not lovable. That could have been my image. I'm not lovable at 6 years old. I'm not lovable. She didn't want me in this world. I was an accident. I should have never been born. I could have created that image for myself, but what I did instead was, what is it about my mother that makes her so angry? Not me. I took myself out of it because I'm not making an image of myself. Why is my mother so upset at me? What happened to her in her life that made it so that she is angry and taking out that anger on me? What is it about the other person? Okay, I'm not saying you're not responsible for the tension, because we all have a responsibility when we're not getting along with our partner. It doesn't just fall on the other person. You're responsible. You're partially responsible for that. So you must ask yourself also, what am I doing that's triggering my mom? What am I doing that's actually triggering my wife or my husband or my uncle, my brother, my boss? What am I doing that is triggering that? Right? And be honest with yourself. Yeah. Say, am I respecting her? Am I showing her respect? Am I respecting my boss when I come late? Like, okay, he yelled at me because I was being late. Maybe I shouldn't be late. Okay, yeah, admit, right? Admit to it. But what is it about the other person that makes them react this way? Right? Then I'm focusing on what it is. I'm not bringing the past into this now. Like my mom is bringing her past into this. I am completely focused on what's happening right now, and I'm taking myself, that image, I'm putting myself aside, and I'm putting on my mother's self, and I'm looking into her image, and her image says she's weak, she's nothing, she's unworthy of love, she's unworthy of respect from her partner. And that unworthiness makes her angry, and so that anger, it gets passed down to me. Yeah, we've all been there. We had a bad day. Go ahead. Sorry, we've all been there. We had a bad day. Somebody says something, we snap, right?
Yeah, I have a lot of. I agree. I saw that Kita has said something about it's hard. Let me see. I believed everything my abuser said of me. I was not insightful like you. I think she's saying that she wasn't as insightful for you. And I can see how she can feel that way, not just from you, but from other people who were even trying to tell me, because I was abused myself. So in an ex relationship, prior to my relationships before that, I was cheated on. I was treated like I was nothing. So when you're dealt with that one after another, it starts to become, you start to make it real. Even when you know that it's not real. I knew that it was not real, that I knew that the person telling me that I was nothing, I knew that was a lie. I knew the person telling me that I was not lovable was a lie. I knew the person that told me that I was like as bad as that, I am like the dirt at the bottom of their shoe. I knew that was a lie, because I knew that I was a loving person. I knew that I had a good heart. But after it continuously happens over and over, it comes challenging for the person who's being abused to break from that. It's not as easy as 1, 2, 3. There's steps, and there's no rush to it. And I know that's not what you're saying. No, I know at all. That's not what you're saying at all. It just becomes one of those things where he's right. I attached myself. I couldn't detach myself from those images of myself, because that's what was presented to me for years. I was in that abusive relationship for almost 5 years. some have been in them longer. And I just, it was painful and it was hard. And I believed those things about myself. And actually I was ashamed to even come out and tell somebody, because I was like questioning if that's who I really was. I lost sight of who I was, because for so many years, I only had that person. Really, I detached myself from everybody else, and I was just that person. And it was constant, like, well, tugging at me, like trying to just break and chip away. And for a moment, I literally I was broken. I was shattered, and trying to pick up those pieces. I'm there already. I've picked up all the pieces. It's just one of those things that it's really hard to move past. It's a healing process.
It is definitely a process, and it's a perfect. What you just said was a perfect segue to the next slide. But this caught my attention. John Henry says, "I'm mad at God, very mad because of what I'm going through, but this helps a lot."
Been there.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there so bad too. So far that I became an atheist, and I hope that you don't take that path.
No.
But completely understand, and yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining the conversation, even if you don't give too much input or become too personal. If you listen quietly, we love it. We'd love to have you here. I hope we hope that this really helps. Okay, so the next slide was like I have the image. Sorry, the image that I have of myself is like a button. The image that I have of myself is like a button. If I have an image of me being kind, and someone says you're mean, they push that button. It becomes a button, and that button on the other end is hurt attached to it, which hurt then turns into anger. If enough people say it, one person says it, you're hurt. Two people say it, you're hurt again. Three people say it, you're hurt, but then it begins to become anger. And then after the fourth, fifth, and more people say it, then it becomes anger. Then you become angry at, say, things like God or the church or your partner or your kids or society, what have you. So what happens? Is it possible to not have those buttons?
I believe so. I believe it is possible.
Yeah. Is it possible to live without an image of myself?
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. So
is it possible to live without having an image of yourself?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Okay. What would happen? Can you tell me, Familia, what would it be like if you lived without that image of yourself? What would be different if you didn't have that image of yourself that said, I'm unworthy, I'm not good enough, I'm weak, I'll never amount to anything? What would happen if you didn't have that button? If that button were not available, what would happen? What would change?
I feel like, well, you'd be free. You'd feel free from all of that. You would feel at peace. You would feel like untouchable to being hurt, in a sense. I don't know how to word that in a more intelligent way, but that I think the biggest one, you would feel free.
You would feel free.
No one would have access to anything to hurt you, to harm you, to...
Ooh, you said it beautifully. No one will have access to hurting you. They would push a button and it would not be there. It won't be there. It will not be there. So what would happen if the next time your husband says to you that you're garbage? I don't know if I'm not speaking to anyone specifically, but what would happen if the next time your parent says, God, you're so lazy and you're never going to do anything, and that button weren't there?
It wouldn't affect you. It would have no effect, no more noise, like Liza said. It would just be words, in a sense. I'm not saying that their words mean nothing, but it would have no effect on you anymore.
I'll give you a perfect example of this. What did Christ say when they mocked him? How did he respond when he says, "Oh, the King of Jews, huh? Well, let's get the king a crown, shall we? Let's get this king a crown. Here we go. Here you go." Right? Bleeding, physical pain, mocking, cynicism, sarcasm. Oh, and just clapping at him and whipping him, right? How did he respond to that? How did he respond to his aggressors?
With love.
What did he say to do when someone slaps you in the cheek? Did he say return it?
Mm-mm.
Did he say be hurt and run away?
Nope.
Turn to him the other, which means what? It doesn't faze you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't faze you. What would change for me? Nothing. Emotions are fleeting. They often lie. Still, it's just vent. Yeah. Okay. You're in a good. That's a good place. Emotions are fleeting. They pass. Everything is passing, and that's what we're getting to, right? That's where we're going. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. He forgave them.
Mm-hmm.
He forgave them. Father, forgive them.
Yep.
What does it take to be in that state where you're getting beat, and they're saying, and you look up and you say, Father, forgive my mother, for she knows not what she does.
Takes a lot of strength.
Forgive my ex, for he or she does not know what he does. Forgive my children, for they know not what they do. Forgive my mother, for they know not what they do. Forgive my neighbor, for they know not what they do. Forgive the cashier or the driver that cut me off, for they know not what they do. Like, can we live that way? Can we begin that process for each one of us? If you're in, give me an emoji, like a hands up emoji, or just say I'm in. If you're in on practicing this detachment from our personal images. If you're in, say I'm in, or give me like an emoji.
I'm in.
Smile and wave. Smile and wave. That's right. Like, just smile and wave, for they know not what they're doing. I want freedom from this, but no matter how much I pray, it won't go away. John, brother, first of all, we're going to pray for you, okay? It's okay that you are mad at God. Everyone, I think, at some point is mad at God. We become upset, right? So it's okay. We love that you are still at least holding on to something, okay? And we're gonna pray for you, and I don't mean that like we're gonna pray for you. I don't mean that lightly.
No,
I don't mean that lightly at all. We have a prayer. Is that what you were gonna say?
Yeah. Go ahead. No, I was gonna just let you know, John, that we have a prayer. It's on this server on Discord, and it's pinned here on the top, or if Angela can pop it in for us right now so you can see it. And there's a lot of things you can do there. Request prayers, just talk to someone there. There's just so many loving people there, make you feel welcome. You can vent, get it off your chest, and we're all very, very welcoming there. Yeah. So I would advise you, if you can, I would love to join, and we'd be happy to have you there.
You are invited. You're invited to join us there.
Very much invited.
But if you don't join us, that's okay too. If it's okay with you, we're going to submit a prayer on your behalf and have people.
His name is Paul, by the way. It says Paul. John, but he said.
Oh, okay, Paul. Thank you, Paul. We're going to submit that prayer for you on your behalf, if it's okay with your permission, and we're going to have people from all over the world pray for this issue for you for clarity. Okay. I want you all to know that I'm a little bit conflicted about some of the things that we talk about here on the channel, because we've heard many different ideas that there's no works, nothing that we can do. Jesus saves you, and then you're redeemed, right? And that's true. And when I say that we are to work on ourselves and to heal ourselves from this, I'm not saying this to say that God or that Christ didn't finish the job, or that we don't need him because we can heal ourselves. But there is still work to do. I'm not saying this work will save you, but this work will free you from the worldly ties that you still have, from the hook that the world has on you still. It'll free you from that so that you can really be in an intimate relationship with God.
Yeah.
A real relationship with God, not through someone, not through words, but the real thing, so that you're not just quoting scripture. I'm not saying scripture is bad. I'm not saying that it's not. Okay. I'm not saying any of that, but so that you can really be anchored and your identity can be in one thing and one thing alone. Who can tell me where your identity should be anchored instead of this worldly image that you've created of yourself? Where should your identity be anchored? Thank you. For those of you who said I'm in, and for those of you who lifted up your hand, thank you so much for joining us and being in. We're gonna have more conversations like this. If you want to continue this conversation in the comments down below, you're welcome to. If you know someone who this video will help, first of all, please give this video a like, a thumbs up, and then share it with someone. If you know that somebody can use this information or can use this exercise, share it with them. And believe me, there are many people that you could share this with.
Find this very helpful.
That would find this helpful. Paul.
In Christ.
Paul, I'm not sure if you're open to letting us know a little bit about what it is that you're going through. Please know that you're not alone. Like, you're not alone. And I know that sounds very cheesy, and a lot of people say that. But if you need to talk to someone, join us on Discord. Send me or Erika a friend request on Discord, and then send us a private message. I'll be more than happy to talk to you, or not talk to you if you just want somebody to talk to and you just want to get it off of your chest and just talk and talk and talk. I'm really good at that. Just shutting my mouth and listening to you say. You could just say to me, hey, Leo, I want to talk about it. I'm not expecting you to solve it for me. I'm not even expecting you to give me an answer or to have some kind of response for me. All I want is to just be able to say it out loud. Can you do that? I'll do that for you, man.
He's a great listener.
I will do that for you. So you do me a favor, man, but whatever you do, please do not quit. Don't quit on us, okay? There's a lot that is still that there's an answer for it.
Yeah, there is. There's always an answer.
And I don't know how long you've been on this channel. We were, praying about things last night and discussing things, and we came to this real fundamental answer of what we actually are here to do. And I'm going to read it just because. No, it's okay. I'll read it just because I'm going to paraphrase and I'll probably botch it. But that on this channel, and you'll know this, you'll see this, that we believe that we all need healing. All of us need healing. We believe that. We believe that. And we also believe that love, compassion, and acceptance is the key that's going to free us from that suffering. So we're here to love you, man. And we do. We do. We love you. And we love everyone on here. And we are here to show each other love and compassion and understanding and acceptance, and to accept you just as you are, not to reject you. I'm not here to reject you. I'm here to be obedient to the red letters. And when Christ says love one another, I'm for that. I'm all in on that. And if you're all in, familia, let us know. All in. I'm all in. We're here to serve. We're all in. We're here to serve, and we're serving people, not just Christians. We're serving people. If you're from all walks. Everyone. The work is a response to the saving grace. This change must share. This change I must share with everyone. Yes. So let's go to the next slide. So that's an amazing channel. Kira, same goes to you. This invitation is for everyone. Yeah. Join us on Discord. Talk to someone. You can go into the prayer chat room, or you can say, hey, to the moderators, I want to speak to someone privately. We can get 1 or 2 moderators to pull you into a private room and just pray for you. These are people that I absolutely trust. Yes. These are people that I know for sure will not go and tell anyone what you're going through, will not make fun of you. No. They will not. They are all loving, all welcoming, carefully selected people that I trust with my life. And this is my life. Yeah. This is our life. They have the best interests for all of you at heart. So we trust them. We love them. And we know that they're here to do what is that we want to do here. And that's to serve everybody, to love, and to be accepting. So yeah, and that invitation is extended to everyone. If you're not comfortable, you want to talk to either one of us, send us a friend request on Discord. We'll take a few moments to talk to you. We can get on a video if you want. We can get on a phone call if you want. It doesn't have to be all typed. No judgment. Just looking at what is. Yep. Good. Excellent. So we're all in. We're all in. Thank you all so much. All in. And tacos for everyone. Tacos for everyone. Yes. You get a taco. You get a taco. And air guitars for everyone. For everyone here. What is going on with this keyboard? Oh. What's going on? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go back. Okay, so we asked, is it possible to live without an image of myself? So when we're looking at an image of ourselves, there's this thing that we do. We're constantly recording. This recording begins to develop that image. My mom saying these horrible things to me which she recorded from her experience with my dad. She recorded these, "You're nothing, you're worthless, get up, you useless piece of nothing, get up and cook for me in the middle of the night because I'm drunk and I'm hungry." And then she cooks and she falls asleep, and so then she cooked for nothing, so she must be nothing. All of this she recorded, and she created this image of herself.
Mm-hmm.
Then that image kept coming back up every time she saw me, and she wanted to record it onto me. And what I did was I recorded some of it, but I didn't allow it to become a part of me. I didn't allow it to become my identity. It's not who I am. It's who my mom says that I am, but I don't have to accept that as who I am. Can I get like a yes or an amen or whatever, however you want to respond to that? Is that clear? Just because someone has said something to you doesn't mean you have to accept that as who you are.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Right? You do not have to accept what someone else says that you are. You know who you are. If you don't, inquire into yourself and ask that, and have a one-on-one with God and ask, who am I? Like, who am I to you? And be anchored in his identity. Like, a lot of you responded to my question, well, whose identity should we be anchored to? And you all said it, right? In Christ. Christ alone. So why must I anchor my identity to this identity, this image of myself? What happens? You all answered it. What happens if I do not have that image filtering what is happening? That image looks back at me and says, "You're going to let this person talk to you?" And then we go, "Oh, heck no, nobody's going to talk to me like that." And we start taking out of our earrings and our jerk. And it's on like Donkey Kong. We're going to fight right now. You and me, square up. What's up? You know? Right?
My goodness.
Right?
Right.
So can I live without recording the things that people say to me? Can I record over it? You know how some of you know how VHS works and cassettes. You know that you accidentally recorded, friends over your cousin's bar mitzvah, or your parents' wedding. You accidentally recorded the episode of Three's Company, or I don't know. I don't know. I just randomly said what is it? Family Matters or whatever, right? We know how that works. Can we record over those things?
It's possible, yeah.
Right. What's something that we can all commit to record over? I'll go first. I'm going to record over the you're never going to amount to anything.
Okay. I'm going to record over the you're not enough.
You're not enough.
Or you're unworthy, I guess. One of those. Okay.
What else? Familia. What are you going to record over? What's something you're just going to record over? In fact, this exercise may not be the best one because we're still recording. You're recording over something, right? So it may not be the best thing, but the point is that we want to see things. We want to see this hurt, this image of ourselves as something that's not real. It could be recorded over, so it's not real. It could be trashed. In fact, somebody can go online right now and pretend to be me. So that's not really me. Somebody can steal my identity and pretend to be me. So therefore, that me is not real. If someone else can be that, it's not real.
True.
Yes or no?
Yes, in English. Oh, Keitha says, good for nothing.
Good for nothing.
Okay.
And you
can record it.
Record what now in its place? Good for whatever you want. Good for everything. I will never escape the past. Good. And that's true. You won't escape the past. So can we be fully present here and now and say, yes, this thing happened to me. Yes, my mother hit me when I was a kid. Yes, she verbally abused me and mentally abused me. Yes, that happened to me. So what? Not to be insensitive, okay? But for me, I'm only speaking to me. So what? Can I move past it now? Can I grow from it? When I look at it for what it is, it dissolves. I don't need to escape it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's harder when it's family, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess, you've talked about it a lot, how you've overcome that, being that it was your mom, not your mom, but she was hurt. So she didn't know how to really heal from her hurt. So she took it out on you. And I kind of have the similar thing with someone in my life that has hurt me because of their own hurt and pain and trauma that was never healed even till this day.
Mm-hmm.
And I still feel like I'm battling that right now. Of still kind of that person repeatedly hurting me. And does it come to a point where even though, and I don't want to look at this person and think that there's no hope that they're not going to hurt me anymore, but I think, I don't know why I keep
reliving it,
but reliving into the sense that it's still happening. So I can easily say have the attitude of, well, I know it's going to happen, so I'm just not going to let it get to me. Right.
So, yeah.
I'm having trouble with doing that because I feel like if I do that, have that attitude about it, like, all right, the person's going to hurt me because they still have not healed. So I know that it's a matter of time that it's going to happen. I feel like I'm letting that person down, or I'm losing hope in that person. So it brings me to a place where I feel really bad inside about it.
Yeah. So now you're using one image to scare you away from another image. Okay. Like you don't want to accept that you can't control that this person is going to hurt you again. They will. You can't control that. I can't control that my mother is still going to have some side effects and some symptoms of her trauma, of her pain. I can't do anything about it. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I can do is how I respond to that. If something in me is hurt, then I will react to it. I'll be reactive. At the moment she says that, I'm like, you always treated me that way ever since I was a kid. You always said this to me and you never loved me. And I don't even know why you had me. Why did you bring me to the States? You should have left me with my grandparents, all this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But if I understand that first in me, that this image is what gets hurt, then when my mother starts behaving in that way, which I can't control, I could say, I can understand her. I can begin to understand that. I understand that you haven't outgrown your pain, and I will love you. I will do whatever I can to help you still, because you're my mother and that's my duty. And if you need help, I will help you. But when it comes to protecting myself, I will protect myself. I will create the space, this boundary between you and I, so that I don't get hurt as a result of your hurt.
Yeah, which makes sense. And you can't control how you respond. I know that I can control how I respond, how I react, how I engage with this person. I have to get a little bit deeper into that. There are some things that are troubling with that still, because I have to tread lightly with this person, being that in my past, this person has almost committed a suicide on their self. And I was a teenager when that occurred. And so I feel like I have that big responsibility, and I feel like I've had that responsibility for a long time. So I feel like sometimes I know I can control what I say and how I respond and how I react, but I tread very lightly with that.
So you see, in this conversation, and what I hear you say is that you've created this image of yourself being responsible for this person's well-being. And anytime that you are going to say, this person hurts me, I'm going to create some distance, this image gets in the way and says, but I'm responsible for them.
Yeah, it's hard to distance sometimes myself, even though I have a good amount. But I feel like not constantly. I don't want to make it sound like it's like every day, but like I feel like there's days where I don't hear from this person, or when I do, I notice their tone, or I notice a difference, and I know it because I've lived this since I was like 5 years old. And so it's been a long time. So I know when this behavior is changing. And it's hard. It's challenging.
Okay, let's look at it this way, because I just totally got this image, since we're making images and we all work in images. Kita says, my abuser is still present in my life, very much still try to take me down. This is my family. You're kind of dealing with the same thing. How many of us know how escalators work? You go to a building, they have an escalator. How does it work? Versus a stair, where a staircase you could just start climbing, right? But escalators work how?
Well, they move you move with it,
it's moving on its own, right? But how do you get on it?
Well, you step on it,
right? But how do you decide?
I mean, I don't know. You just choose to want to go on the escalator versus the stairs. You choose to want to.
You could possibly hurt yourself if you take a wrong step, though, right? Getting on and off of it, right?
Of course.
Right. So you have to wait a little bit, right? And
you don't just jump on it.
Right. You don't just jump on it, right? They just become stairs. a little bit of Mitch Hedberg there. Elevator, sorry, he says escalators can never break; they just become stairs. That's why we love them. One step at a time, and it's a choice. That's it. That's exactly it. It's a choice. And sometimes our abusers or the people that we love that hurt us, we can treat it like escalators. We choose when we get on it. We can sometimes some of the things they say is like step on this and get carried away, and say no, I'm not ready for that. I'll wait. Or somebody gets in front of you and jumps on, you kind of give a little distance and then you get on, right? You don't get on right behind them, right? Because you might be too close. So it's one step at a time, like some of you say, but you choose when to get on and when not to get on. So when this person is trying to hurt you or say something negative to you or presents that, it's an invitation to get on.
Yeah. And
you don't have to. Or it's like when you get to an elevator and you're like, there's some people in here, I'll get the next one. Or a train, or does that make sense? Like you choose which ones you get to. In my inner world, I see it like if I were sitting by a tree and the wind is blowing and all these thoughts are being blown by the wind, I get to choose which one I grab and which one I give my attention to. I can also choose to let all of them pass by. So when somebody says something offensive to me, I just let it pass me by. I don't let it cling to me. I don't give it my attention, because when I give it my attention, that's when it's got me. That's when I get tangled in it, because I'm giving it my attention. Yeah. I don't know if that helps at all, but it is harder when it's family. It is harder when you're dealing with someone you see daily, or with someone you have to interact with on a constant, constantly. But you get to choose how much of that engagement. How far. You're not gonna have lunch with them. You're not gonna be best buds and go on a vacation to Hawaii with said person if they're hurting you. But you get to say like, hey, hi, hey, we should have dinner sometime. I don't think so. Like, I'm okay, thank you. And you get to decide. Now you have that full control of who you let into your safe sacred space, right? Kira, I hear you. Don't, because I don't want you to create another image for yourself and say, I am here and I want to be this image. No, look at your image. Look at the image that you are dealing with and say, what is it about this that I don't like? When you look at it, you take its power from it. You give it your full attention. And okay, I'll put it this way. Let's just say that, oh goodness, let me reach over here and grab let's just say somebody is showing you a trick and then they go and they make it disappear, right? And you're like, whoa, what the heck just happened, right? And then they make it reappear, right? Or whatever. I'm not a magician, but I know that little trick, okay? And then you're intrigued by this magician and you want to know so bad how they did the trick. You're like, where'd it go, right? And then they're like, poof, like, right? So you're taken away, like, wow, you want to know how the trick works, and you're amazed and you're intrigued by it, and you want to know it. You give your full attention to it. But what happens when they go, look, they slow it down for you and they go, I just hid it back here. I really didn't make it disappear. I just hid it back here. What happens the next time somebody goes, hey, I want to show you a trick. Check this out. How intrigued are you with that magic trick now? How interested are you? You're like, oh, I know how it works. I know how that works. You hit it back there. Your emotions work the exact same way. They hit you by surprise and they carry you away. But when you say, okay, how does this really work? Why is it that I get hurt every single time this person is in my presence? What is it about that this person says this and I immediately go into this hurt? How does this work? The moment that you see the nature of it, it no longer has this hold on you. It takes the mystery away from it. So now next time somebody says, you're nothing, you go, you're nothing actually. The fact that you have to put me down to be above me shows that you feel that way about yourself. No?
Yeah.
The fact that you want to hurt me shows that you are hurt. Mm-hmm. I know that trick, so I'm not going to give into it.
I agree.
Yes, I?
Mm-hmm.
right? It becomes this thing. This when you see how something works, it has really no power behind it. It's like if you went to Disneyland and saw how they did everything, all the machines, you'd be like, oh wow, that just completely took the magic away from it, right?
Yep.
So so I'm gonna ask again: is it possible to live without an image of yourself? Who can see it a little bit more clear now after this conversation? Yeah, me. Who here has gotten at least a little bit more clarity on what hurt is, how it comes about, and how we can sort of navigate through it or completely be free from it? Like me? They just know how to get me down. So basically, I need to reparent myself. Ooh.
I feel like me and Kita are like the same person in a sense,
right?
Because I feel like I relate to her a lot. And I'm not saying because we have the same pain or suffering. I just feel like I got a little quiet because I know that what you were saying is to, and I agree with everything that you're saying. I really do. I understand what you're saying. I love this person like with all of my being. So I get like emotional about it because it's hard to just kind of ignore it or really distance myself from it because of the trauma that.
Does this person show up this way all the time, or does it fluctuate?
It fluctuates, but the unsteadiness makes me feel unsteady. It makes me feel like sometimes I'm living life like this with this person. And it seems like I'm the first person that this person gets upset with. And so it's heartbreaking. I know this person loves me very, very much, but sometimes, and I say it but lightly, that sometimes I don't know, like go ahead.
Does it sometimes feel like they hate themselves more than they love you?
Yeah, but that also hurts me because I feel like this person should not hate them. I mean, I'm not trying to tell the person how they should feel, but I feel like that sort of makes the whole thing coming in of am I doing enough? Am I enough? Because I feel like I have a lot of love to offer to this person. I constantly, even when this person has made mistakes or has hurt me or has lied to me, or this person is the biggest person that's broke my heart. And even though it's happened, I still show this person love, compassion, acceptance. And I don't know if that's enough. So then I have distanced myself. And then I feel, is that going to be okay? Is distancing myself, is the person going to be okay? And if they end up not being okay, is it going to be my fault because of the distance? So
is it not enough that you just love them?
Yeah, but I don't think this person actually really knows love, understands what really love is. So me loving the person, I'm still going to love the person regardless, I don't think the person really genuinely knows what it really feels like to be loved, even though I'm giving it to them.
Why do you think they don't know what it's like to be loved? Or what makes it so that you like see that or know that? Were they not loved?
They were loved, but they were hurt. Something happened, and it's not my place to say, but something happened, and they never talked about it because it was something that had to be brushed under the rug and hid for a long time. And this person has a lot of anger and resentment towards it, so they abused substances to escape that, to hide that, and it became more important. I felt like
the escape became more important
than what was really there in front of them to help them, which was not just me, their family. So but I feel like out of like it all, I feel like as a very young age, that I can remember, the young age of like 7 years old, 6 years old, up until that I could remember, is really doing my best to take care of that person and having that role as an adult at 6, 7 years old, and having that put on me.
It's important, I feel, to know that you are doing the best that you can, right? You really are authentically doing the very best that you can to show this person love, to love them as they are, to accept them as they are, even when they are being hurtful, right? Even in that moment that they're being hurtful, you're finding this love inside yourself to still love them as they deserve. What sucks about the situation is that you can't do anything about their hurt, their specific hurt. You can't go back and heal that. Yeah. You can't go back and undo it. The only thing that you can do is love that person, right? Mm-hmm. And as we've heard so many times here with Christ and how he gave his life to save, humanity, that it is a gift. But just because, I forgot who said it, but just because I leave a gift for you on the table doesn't mean that you've accepted it, right? Yeah. You can leave all the gifts on the table, but it takes the person to unwrap it and accept it in order for that to actually be a gift, mm-hmm. right? And you're doing everything you can to offer this person this unconditional love, and I know that person wants to love you back, or does love you back. It's that their image obscures what reality. It's there. It gets in the way. It becomes this ugly thing that they have to face and look at. And so I don't want to look at this thing. So I'm going to go and turn away and do something about it by escaping, by using this substance. And so that I don't have to look at this suffering. Mm-hmm. But they're not really moving away from their suffering. They're creating more suffering for themselves. They're creating more pain for themselves, and they're creating pains for others. They think maybe it's better that I'm not here. Maybe it's better that I don't go because I don't know how to love, or they deserve to be loved in a new way. But rather than changing who I am, rather than transforming myself, I'm going to just exit and put myself out of this so that they can live better lives. And that's not really going to do the trick. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, there's nothing that you can really do to make that person understand that, unless you have a very serious talk with that person and get them to see the pain that they're causing. But depending on how strong that image has a hold on them, it's not going to go well. Yeah. Because some people will defend that image with their life. Like they will do everything in their power to not have to face that image, right? And Kita sort of like relates to you on a lot of things. And Kita, I'm really sorry that you were told this. And that's not a reflection of who you are. You know that, right, Kita? Like, just because someone can't, like, I can't eat sour cream, but that doesn't mean that sour cream isn't edible, right? It's not my preference. So just because someone can't love you doesn't mean you're not lovable. And you're loved here. We love you. God loves you. Yeah. And we accept you.
And if you're not on Discord with us already, if you want to join, and me and you can have a conversation as well. Join us.
Most recovering addicts say that they were most terrified of sobering up and seeing clearly everything they had done. You see that? We're afraid of looking at the thing as it is, but you know what? That's what the thing that has us hooked doesn't want. It doesn't want you to become aware of it. It wants you to be in its shadow always, because the moment that you look at it and face it, it dissolves. You don't have to escape it. It dissolves. So there is no escaping. So you must ask yourself, am I escaping this situation? Am I trying to run away from the situation? Because if I am, I must face it. Yeah. I must look at it for how ugly it is. And then it will have no power over me. Yeah. Because it dissolves. And then I don't have to escape it. I just got to call it for what it is. Mm-hmm. I have to call it for what it is. Hold on hold on to what drives you into the direction of change, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have something that you're looking forward to in the future. And I put it in air quotes because there's really no such thing as future. But you have to be willing to move towards something.
Yeah.
And not just move towards another image. I'm not wanting you to replace a bad image with a good image, because that's still in the field of hurt. You're still going to be hurt if you don't attain that image, if you don't attain heaven or perfection or whatever it may be. Like, you're just replacing one image with another image. I want you to be completely free from all images, so that you can sit here present in the here and now and be still and know that God is with you there in that silence, not in the noise. He's with you in the noise, but sometimes you can't hear him in the noise.
Yeah, the noise overpowers his presence sometimes because we allow it. We allow the noise to overpower.
Why is that?
I mean, for me, I think a lot of it has to do with me sometimes not even wanting to break free from that. I don't know why I do that to myself. I find myself, it's not that it's, I don't know, it's comfortable for what I know.
Oh, say that again.
It's comfortable for what I know.
The image that we create for ourselves becomes our security. That's it. We make images so that we can be secure.
Sometimes it's hard to really believe when you try to like break out of those lies, the images, the lies of ourselves, to really, like, when somebody's like, in the beginning, it was really hard for me to even hear him say like, oh, you're beautiful. You have a beautiful smile.
You are.
You shine. Like, for me, it's not that it was weird, but it was, I don't want to use the word weird, but it was hard for me to accept, because I was like, for so long, I was always felt that I was not. I had this image that I was the complete opposite. So having somebody come and tell you, I was really hard for me. I was lingering on to the lies. You know, I don't know.
The image that somebody else gave you, which was that you're ugly, that you're nothing, and here I come. I see you as you are. I see what's behind the image. I tell you you're beautiful because you are. You're amazing because you are. You're loved because you are. You're worthy because you are. You shine because you do. And you're like, wait a minute. Here's this guy who's being kind and is telling me that I'm beautiful, and I have this image that if I let go, if here's what happens, and correct me if I'm wrong, okay? But I love seeing into these patterns. Mm-hmm. If you let go of the image that says that I'm ugly and not worthy of love, if you let go of it and you accept this other thing that I'm offering you, which is that you're beautiful, are you not giving up security for the possibility of being hurt once again?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was actually going to say. Like, I went into it with, I had a guard up. Like, I was like, no, like, this person's you're telling me this. You're telling me this is too good to be true. Mm-hmm. You're telling me this, and okay, do I believe it or not believe it? Because then this person's, I didn't know that I judged you per se. No. It was just I was fearful of getting hurt once again, because those people in my past, they did tell me those things in the beginning. Yeah, of course, I was told those
because they wanted something from you.
And then yes, and once they got what they wanted from me, it turned on me. So, and it happened one after another. Right. And so you come along and I'm like, whoop, walls up, hesitant. Don't know if I should really accept this, but okay, cool. Thank you. But it was a lot of hesitation, and that wall was up for a good while. And you know this, I've chip at the wall. It's pretty low now, but it was a pretty like tall wall that I had built when I met him. It was just too good to be true for me to think that somebody looked at me and saw beauty. And I'm not talking about on the outside. I'm talking about that really truly saw the light in me and thought that was beautiful. I couldn't believe it at first.
It works both ways. Can I not make an image that is hurtful? And also, can I not make an image that is good? Like, yes. Like not accept that, like, oh yeah, okay, I'm beautiful. And now you have an image of yourself that is beautiful. Like, no image at all. So then this way, no walls can come up. Can we live that way? And Jackie asks us a really great question. What is left if I let go of the image? I took you through the process of me coming into existence, right? Before my mother gave me a name, I existed. I was there, right? My mother was expecting a child, but was she expecting me specifically? specifically with everything that I ended up becoming, all my likes, my dislikes, my wants, my I don't want, what food I like, what food I don't like, my ideas, my concepts, and my beliefs, everything that the world gave me. Was she expecting that, or was she expecting a child? She was just expecting a child. Okay. And now I'm not saying don't record, because obviously to become something, to become a doctor, you have to record. Like you have to learn, right? And record and make images and use those images correctly so that you can become a great doctor. Or if you want to become a teacher, or to become something like I have a career, you have to record and you have to make these images. But can I live without making an image of myself?
Yep.
That I was telling Erika the other day, you know, if you go and use, because she's a bartender, if you go and bartend, can you bartend without being a bartender? Can you just show up as Erika, the one that has the skill to make a drink? Can you show up and just make drinks and not be the bartender? Because then it's like, yes, I'm a great bartender. And then there's an image of being a great bartender. And then someone says, check this out. And then they do these tricks where they're tossing bottles. And then you question, oh man, am I really a bartender then?
Yeah. So
because now you're comparing images and now you're hurt. But if you show up and you're a drink, it doesn't matter. They show up like, cool, man. Hey, those are great moves. I love how you did that. Can you do that once again? You toss that bottle, boom, there it is. And then she walks away untouched. Yeah. Untouched. So what is left? Family, do you want to answer this question? What's left?
What's left?
If I let go of my image, what is left?
David says, everything the image was not.
Everything the image was not. Okay. What is the image not? What is the image not? Because like, again, I said earlier, I asked you, if I become aware of this image, who am I? This image is Leonardo, Mexican, now American, you know, guitarist, singer, music lover, taco lover, YouTuber, whatever that means, you know, father, brother, son, like all of these. If I don't have any of that and I let that go, does that mean that I stop being a good father?
No.
Does that mean that I'm no longer the country that I was born in, a Mexican? No, all that means is that I'm not attached to it. So that when someone says Mexicans are lazy, I go, sure, some, yeah.
But you don't identify.
I'm not.
But you don't identify with that. Your means that you're lazy.
Because then then I get offended. Then I go, I'm going to show you I'm not lazy, or I might even get in a fight, and that doesn't prove that I'm not lazy.
And we get on the defense mode.
Right, get on the defense mode. But if I don't have that image of myself, I cannot be offended. I don't have that button out there for him to push. I'm taking all my buttons away and going, I just am.
Which is why I'll remove the buttons.
I'll remove all the buttons. Does that mean that you're no longer a child of God? No, that doesn't mean any of that at all. It just means that I have no buttons out there for anyone to push.
Yep.
I just am in that stillness. I am. Not I am like God I am, or I am God. Not that. Can I just come to the point where somebody says, when I ask myself, who am I, that I could just say, I am. And I'm showing up differently for everyone. When I'm with my daughter, I'm a father. When I'm with Erika, I'm a boyfriend. I'm a partner. Or a sous chef.
Yeah,
right?
He's the best sous chef though.
Right? But when I'm with my mother, I'm a son. But when I walk out of that, I'm still just I'm me.
Yeah.
I can be all those things to all those people and be nothing. Oh, I just hit a big one. I am nothing. Some of you might defend that and say, no, Leo, you are something. No, I'm telling you, I'm nothing.
I get what you mean.
I am no thing. Can I just put that emphasis instead? I am no thing. So if somebody says Leo is this, no, I'm not. I show up as that sometimes, but I'm not. Only when I'm recording and I'm having a live stream am I a YouTuber. But when I'm at home, I'm not a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Right? When I meet you in person, I hope that I get the chance to meet every single one of you in person. I'm not going to show up as Leo the YouTuber. I'm going to show up as that me. I'm going to listen to your stories.
Which is pretty awesome though. Still a pretty awesome person.
You know? Yeah, thank you.
Maybe a little biased, but
maybe a little.
Just a tad, wee bit.
His thoughts are so vastly different from ours. It's impossible for God not to love you. He gave his only son for you, for me, for all of us. Okay, so can I sit in the stillness and just be one with God? Think about that. If Christ himself was offended and mocked for being the King of Jews and beat, and he said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He was like, you think you're punishing me. You're hurting this flesh, and because you think that I am this flesh, but I'm not. I am beyond this flesh. You mock my title, but I'm not my title.
No.
Or what the title they've given me. You mock the Father, and you don't know. You do not know. I tell you who I am. I tell you who has sent me. You reject that so much that you hurt me physically, but I forgive you. Or I'm going to ask the Father to forgive you because you do not know what you're hurting. You do not know who you're putting to death here. You do not know that death does not have a hold on me. And if you are a Christian and your identity is completely anchored in Christ, then people who hurt you do not know what they're hurting.
No.
There's a passage, and forgive me, I'm an amateur, but there's a passage or something where Christ says that people who hurt you aren't hurting you. They're actually hurting me, or they don't know that it's me who they're hurting. Yeah. Please, someone help me out here. I'm an amateur in the Bible, so I don't know, but there's a passage out there somewhere that says this, where it says like your aggressors, when they hurt you, they're actually hurting me, or something along those lines. But if you're centered in Christ, all your activity comes from that center. But if you're centered in your identity, then all of your actions come from that identity, which is false. It's a false identity. That image is fake. It comes from that. That's why you react to other people's offenses. What you've done to the least, all these you've done to me. That's one of them. But there's another one that's more specific that says anyone who causes you harm is causing me harm, or something to that effect. But if you are anchored, if your identity, if you let go of this, Jackie, if you let go of this image of yourself, then what's left is the image of you and Christ together as one. There's unity. And then, familia, this is a bonus here. Bonus. And then if I know who I am, familia, it's very simple. I'll walk you through it. Familia, I've given up, I've surrendered my identity, my image. And I've told God, I thought I knew better when I was an atheist. I know God doesn't exist. He's a fake. He's nothing. People are stupid for believing in God. All of these things. And when I surrendered, I didn't just say, I welcome you. I accept you. Please teach me. I said, take this identity, take this image that I have of myself. It's terrible. Take it. And don't let its will be done, but your will be done. Show me. Walk with me. Talk through me. Act through me. Love through me. And if I don't have a me that gets in the way, that says, I love you if you give me something in return. I love you as long as you love me. I love you as long as you agree with me on my ideas and my thoughts and beliefs. I agree with you as long as we pledge allegiance to the same flag. I love you as long as you're on this side of the border. I love you as long as you're on this side of the ocean. I love you as long as you're the same color as me on my skin. I love you as long as your eyes are the same color as mine. I love you as long as, fill in the blank. If it says, I love you as long as, that's not love. That's not love. It's a transaction. It becomes a transaction. And I'm not interested in a transaction, and neither should you, to love God because you get salvation. That's a transaction. I love God because I love God. Period.
Amen to that.
Period. I don't want a transaction. I don't want to be converted. I want to be transformed. So I give up my identity for his. So what is left when I let go of that fake identity? What is left when I let go of the identity of what the world says I am? The world doesn't dictate me. The world didn't make me. God made me. Yeah. So what happens? What is left when I let go of the image I have of myself? What is love? I mean, what is God? I just answered it.
I love it.
What is God?
Love.
That's what's left.
So you have love left.
Compassion is left. Understanding. Unity is left. So, familia,
Unity.
I wanted to say this earlier, and I said all that to say this. If I know who I am, if I've let go of my image and I know who I am, then I know who you really are behind your image. And that's why I love you. That's who I love. So then when you come to me with your mistakes, when you transgress against me, or trespass, when you trespass against me, I can forgive you your trespasses as God forgave my trespasses too, because I understood my trespasses. I didn't want to escape my trespasses. I understood my trespasses. I dissolved my trespasses so that when you trespass against me, I can forgive you too, because I know who you are. And I know where those trespasses come from. It's centered. It comes from that image.
Yep. And
then in that, behind the image, if I let go of my image and you let go of your image, we become one. There's no division. There is no separateness. Our color, nothing can separate that love. What does the song say? Oh, what could separate us from your love, your love? Like nothing can separate us from that love.
Like nothing.
Literally nothing. It's us we step away from who we are and say, I accept this image of myself and I'm going to defend this image. But can I slash this image and be one with you? That can be killed. Isn't there another passage, something that says, beware of the man that can kill your body, but or is that, am I thinking another scripture that I read somewhere else a long time ago? But it says, do not fear the one who can kill your body, but fear the one that can kill your body and your soul. That one you should fear. The one that can hurt your soul. Fear that one.
No.
But fear someone who hurts your image. My image changes. I don't have the same image that I had when I was a kid of myself. It changes, right?
Yeah.
So Kita, are we good?
Wait, you missed what you said.
What would you say?
Hold on, I'll read it for you. She says, okay, I don't want to be like you anymore, Leonardo, even though you're a great elder. I want to be the person God created me to be. I'm going to start that journey. Beautiful. We love you, Kita.
And if you need help along the way, I'm not saying I have all the answers, but if you need to talk to someone, feel free to reach out, okay? We're here.
We're here for you. You're not alone. La Familia is here for you. Leonardo and I are here for you. You are never alone.
I still would like you more of you like tacos, though. Oh, Sister Caroline, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate that. Whatever image anyone created of you, know this. You are a child of God who knew every hair on your head before you were born. Christ died for you. You were loved, and you shine like a diamand.
Aww,
that's right. Thank you so much, Caroline. That's
right.
Besitos for you.
Besitos for you.
So Matthew 10:28. You're gonna have to help me out there because I'm an amateur in that, so I'm not gonna be able to go, yes, that's what it is. So you're gonna have to help me out a little bit on that. Thank you, Roxana. Do not be afraid of those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Rather, be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and the body in hell. That's right. That's right. And there are people who kill your image. Let them. It's nothing. You're not that image. If it can be killed, you're not that. If it can be destroyed, you are not that. Boom. Okay, anyway. Yeah. I think I've ranted enough. No, is that enough? Do we have any questions?
I just hope that you are feeling less hurt by this video, and this was helpful.
Yes, we hope that it's been a little bit insightful, at least the slightest, that you can see your image and go, "There's something about this." Period. Just if you just do that and start watching it, we'd be very happy that at the very least you can start to see that I am not this image. This image is changeable.
Detach yourself from that image.
And there's something in me that is unchanging. There's something in me that was there when I was in my mother's womb, and that is still the same and will be there at the hour of my death and beyond.
Yep.
And my body changes, my mind changes, so therefore I can't be any of these things because those things are changing. They come and go. It's fleeting, as David said. All these thoughts are fleeting. So I'm not my thoughts. I'm not my ideas. I'm not my emotions. These are images. And if I can separate that from me and understand it and not escape it, but look into it and then dissolve it, then I can become one with everyone. I understand the suffering of the world. I understand the hurt of the world, and I can never hurt my brother or my sister. I will love you as I love myself, and as as God has loved me.
Amen. Yeah, this was not a rant. I'm gonna read what Mama Bear is saying. This was not a rant. It's not a rant, darling. I can't do her accent. I really wish I could. It was an impassioned desire to help.
Yes, it is an impassioned. I like that. An impassioned desire to help, and it was. So, Jackie, was your question answered? Was your question answered? Please let me know, and I hope it was. Kita, if somehow your hurt was relieved, I'm happy. I'm happy for that.
Yes, we're very happy.
The Discord link is pinned to this to the live chat. It's also in the comment section down below. So if anybody would like to join us on Discord,
and Evangelista here, she can
join us.
Repost
Yeah,
it
you
again
can repost
if she's here
again, please. Things would bounce right off of you. That's right. It's the whole I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. That's pretty accurate. We were right as kids.
No.
Right? Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Right, exactly. So we're saying our body is inevitably hurt. We can get hurt, but emotionally, mentally, words can hurt us. Come on, get out of here. Get out of here with those words. The Bible verse keeps resonating within my mind. I think I should share it. Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. Right.
Nice. I know you are, but what am I?
I know you are, but what am I? Exactly. And that's exactly actually true, because it's like you're trying to put me down, calling me nothing, but it's actually you who feels like nothing. You're trying to say that I'm a fake, but it's actually you who's a fake. Or maybe you're struggling with whether or not you're real. Thank you, Roxana, for hooking up the link. So there's a link there. Thank you. And let's be beautiful supporters of one another, familia. If you have light in you and you see someone whose light has been turned off, be a light to them. Be a light to them. You don't have to throw your matches at them or burn them. Just say, hey, come closer to me, man. When you're ready, if you want some light, I'll give you some light. But for now, I'm going to sit with you in your darkness.
Yep.
I'm going to sit with you in your darkness. And whenever you're ready, take some of this light. Light yourself up.
Yep.
Right?
I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I enjoyed this conversation. So, Familia, thank you so much for having this conversation with us. It was really important. We're going to try our best to have more conversations. If you can, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button right now. If you got something out of this, if you got something good out of it, hit that like button. And also share it with someone who you think this could help. There are a lot of people who need this information. There are lots of people who are struggling with their hurt. And I think this could help them out. And encourage them to turn on the live chat, because you guys answered some really awesome stuff. And it's interesting to watch what we're saying here on screen, but also to go with what the live chat is saying. So have them turn on the live chat if they watch it. So Kita says, thanks, Erica, Leo. I praise God for you and this channel.
Thank you, Kita.
Thank you, Kita. We love you, and we're here with you, okay? I never watch a movie by myself unless it's a Christmas movie. Then I will sometimes. I don't know if I have a new good book to read. I guess I could reread something. Oh, I don't think that was meant for us. It is my pleasure. I'm here if you need to talk or have someone simply listen. Right. Thank you. Let's be here for each other. Roxana, I know you wanted to go to sleep. I'm sorry. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here with us. Roxana is in Germany, so it's really late for her. Thank you both. Great information, great discussion. Betty, thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you on the next live chat. Jen, thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. And Paul, if you're still here, man, thank you. Please,
thank you.
Please reach out to us, okay?
I saw that he joined Discord, so.
Perfect, Paul. Thank you so much. Send us a friend request. All right, everybody. We appreciate you all so much. Please continue to be kind to one another and to yourselves. And we we love that you joined us
Yes, thank you.
today, and thank you for your responses. Thank you for having that conversation with us. If you're watching this live, this is not going to have anything on it. This is for afterwards. But we thank you so much for joining us on this adventure. We hope that that you continue to spread the love that comes from above, and we'll see you on the next adventure.
Peace.
Peace, everybody.